no longer. Let's get you the starting lineup, sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. We heard the guys in the studio talking about the point guard spot, obviously a key. But for Creighton, they look inside Ryan Kalkbrenner and Oso Ighodaro. That's a matchup we're going to keep an eye on as well.
Absolutely. You look at Marquette, they're the #1 two-point field goal percentage team in the country. They like to get a lot of their damage done at the rim, and that guy right there is a eraser at the rim. So the front line Ighodaro-Kalkbrenner matchup's going to loom really large.
Standing room only tickets went on sale in Omaha this morning. They were bought up. People standing, people sitting, people looking through the windows for this showdown between Creighton and Marquette. Kalkbrenner at the top will hand it off to Ryan Nembhard. This is a guy Creighton would love to get going. Baylor Shireman, who enters it to Kalkbrenner. There's the double. Trying to shoot for Trey Alexander. Arthur Kaluma. Shot clock at 4. Shireman going to have to launch. Off balance 3. And Marquette with excellent defense to start.
That is a tone-setting first defensive possession for the Golden Eagles. Trapped the post, scrambled out of it, engaged, really good.
Alec Kolek. This is Stevie Mitchell on the way inside. Shireman the board. He'll push it ahead. Nembhard on the run. The lob to Kaluma.
Showtime early in the open floor for the Jays. Wow.
A 2-0 start for Creighton. Jones trying to quiet the crowd. It will not be easy tonight.
Creighton really loves to run, especially at home, so transition defense going to be really important for Marquette, especially when Kolek drives to the basket. You got to have defensive balance getting back.
It's strength versus strength tonight. Great offense versus great defense. Who gets the edge in this one? Defense wins that possession. Mitchell to the other end to tie the game.
Lead the Big East in steals, 9th in the country in steals. It's Shaka Smart, for crying out loud. This is what his teams do. They're disruptive. They're active defensively. Little pick-6 turnover for Marquette.
I said something earlier to us today when we were at their shoot-around, the practice before the game, about turnovers. They're leading the Big East in turnovers forced. He said that's not something we necessarily try to do.
Which is interesting. He said we're mainly just trying to be disruptive. But ultimately, if you're disruptive, you'll likely turn people over.
Counts the bucket, and a chance for one more as Nembhard will go to the line.
Ryan Nembhard is so good, Kevin, at finishing in the trees. Going through the contact of Stevie Mitchell. You see Kalkbrenner holding off Ighodaro. See how he's sealing him off so the long arms of Oso Ighodaro can't contest that? Really good drive and finish from a really good sophomore point guard in Ryan Nembhard.
And an example of what Creighton didn't have in that meeting in December with no Kalkbrenner. Little things like that that you don't think of and that don't show up in the box score.
Absolutely. There's nothing in the box score that shows up for Kalkbrenner there, but he created the scene for Nembhard to score.
2 advantage early for Creighton. Cam Jones. 2-time Big East Player of the Week this year. He gets it on the bounce from the big man and a finish that has some nice touch from Jones.
Just an excellent pass from Oso Ighodaro. That floor is spread out. You get cutting. Really good offense from Marquette.
Alexander to skip into the corner. Jays a launch with Kaluma. The 3 kicks out to Mitchell. Doesn't have numbers, but Mitchell will attack anyway. Ball knocked free, and the Jays come up with it.
1-on-3, not a good decision from Mitchell.
Nembhard, the split, through the contact for 2 more.
Again, Kalkbrenner holding off the help defense, and another great finish from Nembhard. Marquette's got to have more urgency, Kevin, in transition defensively right now.
Backing up for Jones, and Jones hits the 3. And if you were watching the shot, you saw the reaction from Greg McDermott behind him.
Well, Kalkbrenner plays drop coverage. He's always sitting in the lane. So Ighodaro's handoffs, there's not going to be a lot of help. So Cam Jones comes off all by himself and knocks it down. So it's on Trey Alexander and those guards to fight through those handoffs themselves.
Thus the reaction from Greg McDermott.
Yeah.
Lob inside the Kalkbrenner and able to tip it away. We've got a whistle. Boy, what a job. And I will just say this. I think you're looking at the Big East Coach of the Year in Shaka Smart. What a job he's done since taking over this Golden Eagles program a year ago.
Brought in no Division I transfers, one of just 5 schools to do so in the power conference level.
Shireman got a great look for 3, but this has been a problem. 4 for his last 23 from range.
Need Shireman to get on track if you're Creighton. So watch these handoffs with Iguodaro. You come off, you're now at 15 feet all by yourself.
Maxence Prosper. Max can't come up with that one. The rebound, Alexander. Jay is looking to run. Shireman will try again. 0 for 3 from deep to start.
Good recovery from Prosper, though, to sprint back, and at least Shireman had the shot fake and sidestep. Good hustle.
Kolak. Catch by Iguodaro. Can't finish. Kalkbrenner the board.
You see Marquette will switch some of these screens. So there you get a switch. Kalkbrenner needs to get a touch now. You need to find a way to post him up with Cam Jones on him.
One of the things they stressed in the Creighton shoot-around earlier today, if he's got a mismatch, you gotta get him the ball. There it is. Tough catch, but he led him right to the rim.
And Kevin, that's what wasn't there in the first matchup. You could switch these screens. You didn't have Kalkbrenner to deal with inside. Marquette's got to have a little bit better ball pressure to make that pass tougher.
Here's Kolak. Scoops to the rim and draws the foul. Arthur Kaluma is people don't get the chance to just play Tyler Kolak as a passer. He's shown he can score at this level as well. And a lot of times last year with this Marquette team, you were able to play him just to distribute the ball. You didn't worry about his scoring as much as you do this year.
And what's amazing is scoring and shooting is up, and his assists are up, too. So it's not like one has sacrificed because of the other. And he's really been scoring it at a high clip over the last 6 games, averaging 17 points per game. Just a big-time lead guard for the Golden Eagles.
9-8 lead for the Blue Jays. Creighton will ride with their starters a long time. They do have one off the bench now in Mason Miller. And that's a screen. Kalkbrenner with a little shove setting the screen on Cam Jones, and Kalkbrenner picks up his first.
I think that's all Cam Jones. When you pressure the ball like Marquette does, it gets you playing a little faster, and so you go off that ball screen a little too soon. Kalkbrenner didn't get out there and get set because Trey Alexander was sped up by Cam Jones.
Looking, working against Kalkbrenner. He's picked up his first foul. Won't get his second. Shireman gets the rebound off the miss. And there's a foul. Jones working around David Joplin, who was defending Shireman in the first on Jones.
Well, how this game is officiated is going to loom large. Creighton's a team that typically doesn't foul. They're second nationally in fewest fouls per game, and Marquette is aggressive. They're going to put their hands on you. We'll see how the officials want to call this game.
They've only had 6 fouls called against them in 2 of the last 6 games.
Isn't that unbelievable?
I mean, that is remarkable.
Through his ball pressure. And so even though Kalkbrenner is wrestling for one-on-one post position, it's hard to get him the ball because Marquette is so active on the perimeter.
Jones all over him. Shireman in the corner has got to hit that shot for Creighton, and he cannot. He is in some kind of funk right now. Jones, the freshman, missed some time late with a right wrist injury. He's not quite 100% for his head coach, but he's out there and giving it a go, and he is a whirling dervish on the floor.
Unbelievably quick.
Joplin trying to find room, 8 to shoot. Kolak penetrating, leaning inside. Shireman plucks it off the glass.
Much better transition defense from Marquette. But again, Kolak is driving a lot to the basket. So you got to have help.
Miller's 3 no good. Jays 0 for 6 from 3. They were 4 for 20 in the first meeting.
Kind of a streaky three-point shooting team are the Blue Jays.
Joplin, 15 to shoot. Pulling his way inside. Kalkbrenner cleans it up. Few do it better. Alexander, the transition three, no good. Kalkbrenner now second in Creighton history with 184 career blocks. Trying for one there, couldn't come up as he did. Iguodaro cleans it up for the flush.
Well, that's going to be there for Iguodaro because Kalkbrenner's coming to block shots, so those rotation rebounding opportunities at the front of the rim are going to be available to Iguodaro.
Nemhard wanted to get it inside of the big man, matched up against Jones. He'll find Miller, and Miller hits the first Creighton three.
That's what Mason Miller does. 75% of his shots are threes. Coming off the bench, hunting triples.
Whistle, offensive foul. That'll go on David Joplin, and a turnover back to Creighton.
An area Creighton has needed a spark is from their bench in a variety of ways. And Mason Miller knocking down a three and then taking a charge, coming in and making an impact right away. Joplin got that left elbow extended a little bit.
Jays will go to the bench, as will Marquette. Ben Gold, the freshman in for Marquette, the 6'11" post player.
So his full court pressure from Marquette. They'll fall back here.
Francisco Farabello on the floor for the Blue Jays, as is Frederick King, who played a lot with Kalkbrenner out in the first meeting. Had 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Sharif Mitchell also on the floor in the backcourt for the Jays.
Mismatch here.
Alexander, a little crossover to get free.
Alexander wanted it. He smelled blood on the switch and went to work. Gold's a pick and pop 5. He can shoot the 3.
Bullock back out to Jones. Trying to work against Farabello. Gets inside. Slithers his way to the rim. It won't go. There's Gold with the offensive board. And the 3 from Jones is the result.
Well, that's the other side of switching. Creighton switched. Gold had a mismatch with Mitchell. A size advantage. Extra offensive rebound kick out 3. Good play from Gold.
Setting the screen for Alexander. This is Farabello in the corner. Step back after he got Jones in the air.
2 threes from Creighton's bench.
A rarity for a bench that does not score a lot. And that's on the sideline. A turnover. Omax came 17-13. Blue Jays by 4. We're having a little technical problem with Nick's mic, I believe. We'll get that back in just a moment. (17-13). Jays with the 4-point lead. Entry into the post and batted away by Ben Gold as he tried to get it in Kalkbrenner. That'll be a foul on the freshman.
All right, I think I'm back.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, real quick to talk about that.
To me having to do this. I was right ahead of the car.
What Shaka Smart's talking about, Cam Jones did his job. He was able to run Francisco Farabello off the 3-point line. You have to have other Golden Eagles making those multiple efforts, scrambling around.
Jays just 2 of 9 from 3, and Alexander tripped up by Omax. And Prosper picks up his first personal foul. Team's 5th. All 5 Marquette fouls split among 5 different players, so no one for Shaka Smart's team in foul trouble yet.
Well, certainly turnovers are going to loom large. In the first game, Creighton turned it over 18 times. Marquette turned that into 18 points. And so this pressure on the ball, how Creighton handles it, and Marquette sustaining it is going to really, really be important for this game.
8 to shoot for Alexander. Puts it on the deck, driving inside. Rebounded by Prosper, got rid of it before it traveled.
Job by Iguodaro to fight Trey Alexander off the dribble on that switch.
Halfway through this first half, Jones will drive. Nice feed to Iguodaro for the flush.
Big time play from Sean Jones. Just coming off that handoff, understanding Kalkbrenner coming to block the shot, shows the ball and drops it to Iguodaro.
They're so happy to have him back just for things like that. He gives them an opportunity, gives them another option in that backcourt.
And he's kind of a different look than everybody else. He's a guy that can get under you. He's quick. He can get into the paint at will.
Trying to shoot again. Jays having to use a lot of that shot clock each possession. Farabello on the baseline, able to find room, and he got past Kolek.
Again, Kalkbrenner's doing a nice job holding off Iguodaro so these Jays guards can go finish at the hoop.
Into the paint. Knocking it off. Iguodara's pocket picked by Farabello. Alexander. Here's Sharif Mitchell. Open to the rim for two. The sea parts and Shaka Smart calls to
Obviously helps your ability to win big games at home.
Jones knifing to the rim with a left hand. He's got 10 already. He had 9 total in the first meeting against the Jays.
You see how he showed the ball? He put the ball up in the air, and that got Kalkbrenner up, and he was able to go under him for the scoop. These Golden Eagle guards have made pretty good decisions attacking Kalkbrenner.
Shireman, Farabello had a little bobble. Kaluma will try from range, and the air ball picked up by Jones. Farabello was going to take it up, but had a little bobble on the reception.
Layup. You're right.
The skip to Prosper for 3. And the rebound, Shireman. Taken away. Ball stripped by Mitchell. He'll go right back at Kalkbrenner, who swats it away. Four-point Creighton lead. Kaluma down deep. Nice defensive play by Iguodaro.
That's 2 opportunities at the hoop erased because of a bobble and then help.
And Shireman with the bucket and a chance for one more. In our nation's history, from a basketball standpoint, if you've not read anything about the Black Fives, it's so worth spending a little time, even if it's just on your favorite search engine. It's well worth it.
Couldn't agree more. And obviously with the Big East Conference, multiple African-American head coaches, just really, really cool.
There's Prosper. Chase Ross back in the lineup after the Mitchell foul. His second, he sits down. It's a big second foul. Stevie Mitchell plays a big role for this team. Kolek, the runner, is short, but he got his own. And whistle, and a foul is called. That'll go on Ryan Nembhard. His first, team's third.
Well, one of the things that's interesting right now, Marquette's #1 2-point field goal percentage team in the country. They're 5 of 15 from 2 right now. They're struggling finishing some shots around the rim, and certainly Kalkbrenner will do that to you a little bit.
And one of the strengths of the Jays has been defending that 2-point shot, 18th in the country this year. How about the 3? That won't go. Long rebound, and Nembhard able to poke it away.
They get sorted out if you're Marquette.
Farabello left alone. Got a good look. Kaluma skying for the rebound, and then Kaluma can't hit the follow. Excellent box out by Chase Ross. Ross on the receiving end of that pass. Kolek, baseline drive, finds Prosper. That 3 will drop.
Great play from Tyler Kolek. Just one of those guys, you play with Kolek, when you're playing with him, you don't have to hunt shots. He's going to set the table for you.
He's going to be ready for the pass, don't you?
Yes, no doubt. He's going to find you. He really is good at seeing the opposite side of the floor, too.
Four-point Creighton lead. Creighton bench outscoring Marquette. That's a big surprise. Shireman inside using the window. The 3 not falling, but Shireman, who's taken the headband and Kolek will bring it up. Jump pass in the corner to Iguodaro. We're not worried about him shooting a 3. He's yet to attempt one all year. Kolek, second pass is tipped away. Shireman diving to save it for the Blue Jays. Alexander on the switch, picked up by Iguodaro.
Kalkbrenner's got to work the post.
Back it goes. Alexander from range. That 3 will fall for Trey Alexander. He's got 5.
Improved 3-point shooter in a major way.
Largest lead of the night for the Blue Jays. Iguodaro wants an answer. The tip won't go, and Kaluma there.
Well, Kalkbrenner's changing everything in the paint right now.
That's what the Jays were missing in that December meeting. Shireman will try again. Off the side of the backboard. Nembhard. This is how you do it. Timeout.
Figures to Xavier, chipped away at it. And no Kalkbrenner on the floor. I would go right at the hoop.
And a foul with all that traffic in the middle of the floor. That'll go against the Blue Jays. And I believe on Kaluma. And for Arthur Kaluma, his second.
The interesting, Ben Gold's on the floor. You love pick and pop action with him. But Creighton might switch ball screens now with Gold on the floor, especially with Kalkbrenner out. Something to keep an eye on is when Gold's in the game, he had 12 points on the road at UConn and really hurt Sanogo and Klingon with his ability to stretch the defense. Here you go.
Mitchell that game. Mitchell back in with 2 fouls, and he goes right to the rim.
Again, with no Kalkbrenner, you better have your foot on the gas to attack the paint if you're Marquette.
Yeah, you've got to believe Greg McDermott's looking at the under 4 timeout. Yeah. Kalkbrenner comes back in. No doubt. Just cannot find the range from 3. He's 0 for 5 from behind the arc.
When you're hitting the side of the backboard, that's not good.
Clock under 10 and an offensive foul. That'll be on King. And the youngster picks up his first.
Again, this on-ball pressure gets you going a little early. And I don't know if that is because his feet were wider than his shoulders.
That seemed to be what the official was indicating.
So there you switch that pick and pop. See that, Kevin, with Ben Gold?
The defense by Miller for the moment, but Omax going to work inside. A little up and under move, goes to the rim.
I like it. Omax, Prosper, Mason Miller. That's an advantage for Marquette. And Prosper goes right to the basket.
Alexander on the way down, turns it over. A timeout on the floor. A lot tonight about how he'll seal things off. He'll open up the opportunity, closes off that help. There's just so many things he does that aren't going to show up on that stat.
Absolutely. He's got some shots, but he alters a bunch.
Nice attack by Gold. That's what you were talking about. Gold extending and taking it to the rim.
I think Gold has an opportunity to potentially move Kalkbrenner away from the basket, too.
They did it to Sanogo at UConn. With great success.
They scored 12 points. Season high.
Shireman trapped inside. 12 to shoot. Shireman will attack. Baseline drive. Coming over to help is Kolek. The ball not free, and Kolek comes up with it. Now in transition to Marquette. The lead for Gold. He can hit that. This one won't go, and Alexander the rebound. He's a 31% shooter from out there.
Where Kalkbrenner has to punish Gold on this team.
Triple team. They find Shireman. That 3 will drop. And for the first time tonight, Shireman sees it go through the net from range. Kolek spitting past Alexander for an easy 2.
Boy, is that good. Quick spin, so strong. He's not a guy that's going to play above the rim, but he gets to his spots with strength. Double team probably coming.
But yet, there it is with Mitchell. Mitchell doubling with those 2 fouls. They're really working down low, and there's a whistle and a foul going to be called. Gold picks up the personal. That's his second. So 2 on Gold, 2 on Mitchell.
Well, Shireman gets triple teamed, Kalkbrenner does, and Shireman has just been ice cold the last 3 games. And it's funny, we were talking to Shaka Smart at shoot-around, said, is there one guy that concerns you more than anyone else? He said, well, Creighton's so balanced, so it's hard to pick, but if I had to pick one guy to not play well, it would be Baylor Shireman. And it's a 3 right in front of Shaka Smart.
1-1 now for Creighton with a 17 foul. Kalkbrenner. 73%. He's been good at the line this year, but he misses the front end, and now Kolek will attack on the other end for Marquette.
Now Iguodaro back on the floor, so Kalkbrenner can camp out right there.
Kolek, another spin. Wow, find the Mitchell cut for two. And that'll prompt a timeout from Greg McDermott. Make a big impact. I know it's a guards game.
Well,
but big men who are skilled make a big impact. You see it in this game. You'll see it Saturday night on Fox. And the ball taken away. Pressure on the inbound. And the Jays get it right back. Shireman. And then find to Kalkbrenner for the flush.
what a sequence. Marquette looked like they were going to have a steal and a layup, and instead it's a dunk on the other end of the floor.
4-point swing. Jones kept his pivot foot, no travel. Tiptoes along the sideline. This isn't exactly how they drew it up this possession so far. See if they can finish strong. Kolek at the rim, they can with two.
Kolek's doing a nice job catching on the move and driving.
And a low dribble goes off the foot of Jones. Turnover, nice catch by Prosper, but he walked. Caught it, but couldn't gather it to bring it down.
Well, that's twice. Prosper, he gets the steal in the full court press, bobbles it, loses it, and there, a 2-on-1. Was probably going to have, at worst, a foul and a trip to the free throw line, and shuffles his feet.
That's 4 points left off the board by those turnovers. Nembhard trying to thread the needle to get it to Farabello, and it's kicked out of bounds.
That's a deflection. Obviously, that's something that Shaka Smart values. Their goal is 32 deflections a game. Could have a little 2-for-1 opportunity here if you're the Jays.
Nembhard has it poked out by Sean Jones.
Another deflection.
Something they chart. 32 is the target. They average over 35 this year.
And oddly enough, I wouldn't have guessed this. Oso Ighodaro leads the team in deflections. Just so long and active. You would have assumed it was a guy like Kolek or Jones, someone that's in the action on the perimeter, but it's Ighodaro that leads the charge.
I will predict someday Sean Jones will lead the deflections. When he has more minutes out there, he's everywhere. Shireman will step back. And the three drops. Shireman. 2 in a row.
What shooting slump, right? Wow.
From the elbow, Ighodaro has it spin out. Jays can hold for the final shot. Up 8 in this Big East showdown. First place on the line. Up on 10 seconds remaining in the half. Nembhard drives. Alexander, 3. And over the backboard, so now Marquette will get a chance with 3.5 seconds.
And generally the rule of thumb here, Kevin, is you get about a dribble per second. And you got some fouls to give if you're the Blue Jays. Just one, pardon me, just one. But a guy like Jones, really fast up the floor. But you can cover a lot of ground in 3.5 seconds.
Inbound on the baseline. 3.5 seconds. Comes to half court. Gold catches. Feeds Kolek. Kolek for 3 at the horn. Off the rim. And Creighton 17-2. Bench points graphic 344th in the NCAA. There are 352 teams that are charted in NCAA statistics. So when you're 344th, that's not exactly saying, hey, you're doing a great job.
No, you're getting to that almost dead last territory.
Cam Jones trying to get it going for Marquette. Here's Prosper attacking Kalkbrenner off the dribble. Good defense by the Creighton post. Shovels it to Ighodaro. Kolek just makes plays for everybody.
Drawn help, dropping it down. And Marquette's got to continue to try to attack the lane and challenge Kalkbrenner. Or they got to find ways to drag him away from the basket. And the reality is, Kevin, it's probably going to be more 10-footers than layups when you're dealing with Kalkbrenner.
Ball by Kolek, his first.
And Iguodaro's got that shot, that little 10-foot kind of push floater.
Shireman found his range late in that first half, and a foul on Iguodaro, his first, team's second.
You bring up Shireman. He was ice cold and had been ice cold for the 3 games heading into this one. But he had 2 cuts to the basket and got 2 layups. And I think that just settled him down. He saw the ball go through the hoop, and then he started knocking down the long-range jump shots.
Ended up as the leading scorer for the Jays in the first half. He started 0 for 5 from 3. Right down to 10 on the shot clock. Kalkbrenner coming out to set the screen on Jones. Alexander rolling into the paint. A little fadeaway mid-range won't go this time. He hit it earlier. Kolek with the rebound. Now a quick push. Trailing is Iguodaro. He'll lead for Kolek. He'll launch the 3, and Kolek good from range. He's a 38% shooter from 3, his first tonight. Brings Marquette within 3.
Perfect example of the improvement. A year ago, you could go under that handoff, and Kolek probably was going to make that shot. This year, he'll make you pay from 3.
I'm not sure he'd even look for that shot last year.
He really lost his confidence last year from beyond the arc.
Alexander in traffic. Kolek with the steal. Numbers ahead. Jones working against Nembhard. Offensive rebound, Mitchell. And the Jays stop the transition break. See if Marquette can recover and get points. Omax, the 3, no. Iguodaro offensive rebound. 3rd chance for Marquette on this trip. The cutter to the rim. Rejected, but a foul, and Prosper to the line.
Well, Marquette out of halftime has delivered the first punch here. Come out and establish themselves right away. Kolek does such a good job off those spins of seeing cutters to the basket. Those aren't necessarily easy plays to make. And the Golden Eagles vary what they do. Sometimes they'll sit on the 3-point line. Sometimes they'll cut.
Prosper good at the line this year, 73%. Foul on Alexander, his first. Miller will enter, and Kaluma will leave.
A little more a little more spacing with Mason Miller on the floor here from the 3-point line.
Two-point game. How about a 6-0 burst out of the locker room for the visitors? And they've taken the crowd out of the game for the moment.
Yes.
Get it into Kalkbrenner. That's a tough feed, and they cannot connect.
Deflection. Iguodaro saves a layup and ultimately gets a turnover.
One of his team-leading deflections. The bounce, Jones lid on that shot would have tied things up.
Good transition defense. Corralled the ball, got matched up.
Skip, tipped and taken away by Mitchell. Now Mitchell on the push. Shireman forcing him out. Here's Kolek. Back it goes to Iguodaro. Count the bucket. And a foul. Marquette with a chance to grab the lead at the line.
Marquette starting to flex their muscles defensively. They forced 3 turnovers in the first 3 minutes of this second half, and that's gotten them into a rhythm on this end of the floor. Great pass from Kolek and a quick finish from Iguodaro. And just like that, Marquette with a chance to take the lead.
Last time they led, it was 10-9 Marquette. And that is still the last time they led.
40, what an answer.
Oh, my goodness. Storming out of the locker room on an 8-0 run. Double comes at Shireman. Alexander, the recipient, and hits the 3. First points for Creighton. Prosper. Kolek, Alexander with the tip. Kolek recovers and finishes it off. He's got 10.
You can't reach against good players. Kevin, you're not going to take it from a guy like Tyler Kolek.
1-point game. Big East standings, first place on the line tonight. Living up to the expectation.
So impressed with how Marquette's come out to start this second half.
Nembhard, 5 to shoot. Miller, catch and shoot and finish.
Boy, that is a quick release. He didn't dip the ball down. He caught it and went up with it.
Iguodaro, the floater. You said he's got that shot.
And I think that's going to be more of where he can do some damage. He might be able to get some of those rolls that he got a couple plays ago, but I think it's going to be more of the little 10-foot, 12-foot floaters.
And if he can perfect that, this game opens up wide. Shireman a little bobble. On a bounce to the big man down low. Kalkbrenner, double team comes. Kolek with the steal. Kolek to the other end. And we are tied again.
Marquette has taken their defensive energy up a level. Forcing turnovers. Creighton sped up, uncomfortable. This is Marquette basketball. Another deflection, another steal.
And a chance for the lead. Up ahead, Jones driving. Spins out, Kalkbrenner with the board. Quick push to Nembhard, but no numbers. Alexander still attack. Nembhard for 3. Twice Marquette's had a chance to take the lead. Twice Creighton's answered with a 3.
Well, how about Shireman's contest without fouling?
Mitchell fouled. Shireman with contact. Timeout off first. Free throws coming for Stevie Mitchell.
It's a great illustration of, we were talking to Shaka Smart at shoot-around. I said, what's the difference between this year's team and last year's team? And he said, I think relationships were just closer. And then Cam Jones walked by, and Shaka said, Cam, what do you think? What's the difference between this year's team and last year's team? He said, all relationships were closer. Well, when you're close, you're tight-knit. When you're on the road in front of 18,000 people and you get punched in the mouth, you can band together because of that relationship that you forged over the course of 2 years to sustain you in a hostile environment.
They got to get the ball inbound. They do to Sharif Mitchell. Mitchell's seen more playing time of late for the Blue Jays off the bench.
Well, now you got 2 point guards on the floor. Better ball handling with Mitchell and Nembhard.
Ball handling has been a problem in the early second half for the Jays. They get it inside. The Kalkbrenner has been quiet offensively, just 4 points. Kolek won't get the bucket, but he will go to the line with the foul on Mitchell. And Marquette can try to grab that first lead since it was 10-9 with a couple of free throws from the excellent free throw shooter in Tyler Kolek. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists tonight for Kolek. He's 1 for 2 at the line.
Now, Kolek's a guy, we bragged about his ability to improve as a three-point shooter. But as a freshman, he shot it good from 3 at George Mason. He was the A-10 Rookie of the Year. He made 53 threes, shot at 38%. He just had a little dip last year. So it's not like he never was confident as a shooter. But he regained that confidence this year, and it's really helped the team.
And the difference, that's a turnover. Nembhard traveled. The difference in this second half is what you saw right there. The defense for Shaka Smart.
Absolutely. The energy at which Marquette is playing with right now is totally different than that first half, and that's a right call. Too many steps. Marquette has Creighton going a little faster than they want to.
Kolek. Big reason why Marquette has stormed back to take the lead in this second half. Kolek working against Mitchell, banging his way around against the veteran Creighton guard. The turnover. Shireman on the run to the other end, and Shireman, count it, and the foul.
Kevin, give the assist to Sharif Mitchell. Tyler Kolek thought he could punk Mitchell. Mitchell up to the challenge, stymies him in the post, creates the turnover, and Shireman then goes and finishes in transition. But that's Sharif Mitchell doing what he does best, sinking his teeth into the opposition on defense.
And Shireman cannot complete the three-point play. He was 12-12 at the line over the last 5 games, now 1 for 2 tonight. Marquette down 1. Kalkbrenner seals him off, 9 to shoot. Kolek bumped again into Mitchell. Bumps one more into Mitchell. Offensive foul. Oh, Sharif Mitchell has been huge these last 2 possessions.
This is who he is as a player. He is a defensive stopper. He came in and bothered Jordan Hawkins a couple of games ago, and he's doing it against Tyler Kolek. Greg McDermott has put Sharif Mitchell on the floor for one reason, to try to slow down the Big East leading assist man, and forces a charge there.
And Kolek now to the bench with his second foul. Miller. Mitchell will come get it. To shoot. What's going on this possession so far? Shireman trying to make something happen, instead he throws it away.
Well, David Joplin did a really good job. He got switched onto Kalkbrenner and worked his tail off to front him and not let the ball go into the post. And that got Creighton a little off schedule and ultimately ends in a turnover. The 7th, you see it on your screen, of this half.
Kaluma back in. Alexander returns. King back in the post. Miller, Shireman, and Kalkbrenner will get breathers.
What did we see in the first half? When Kalkbrenner went out of the game, Marquette went on a run. Let's see what happens now with Kalkbrenner out.
10-3 run when Kalkbrenner sat down in the first half. Jones trying to start another Marquette run, and Nembhard with an excellent box out of Chase Ross. Mitchell, not a huge scoring threat, although St. John's would argue that. He hit 3 threes. Nembhard, the scoop to the rim. King there. Offensive rebound and putback. Iguodaro against King, and Iguodaro going right at the freshman.
Well, how about that? All 8 guys were on the left side of the floor, and Iguodaro had the whole right side of the CHI Health Center to attack Frederick King, and he scored.
1-point game again. What a battle. The lead in the Big East on the line with a week and a half to play. Nembhard. Kaluma, 3 to shoot. Gonna have to do something. Kaluma in the lane. No. Rebound tipped out, and it's Ross. Ross driving through Nembhard. Count the bucket. One more at the line.
Identity of who Marquette is, I think, has shined through here today to allow them to get punched in the mouth, but then punch back. And now we got a fun final 11 minutes on deck here.
You know, we started the broadcast talking about this being a heavyweight matchup. With the tail of the tape, it's a heavyweight matchup. They're standing right in the middle of the ring. Each team exchanging uppercuts at a 54-53 Marquette lead.
So how long does Greg McDermott go with Frederick King on the floor and leaving Kalkbrenner on the bench?
He'd love to be able to get a few minutes, maybe to the under 8, but that's risky.
Yeah, I think there's a feeling, whether it's the Providence game, that the starters were a little worn down for the Blue Jays.
Nembhard in trouble. Bobble by Kaluma, got a shoot. High arcing shot won't go, and the rebound ripped down by Sean Jones. Good defense again in the half court. Now Jones on the attack. Kalkbrenner headed to the scorer's table. He won't get to the under 8. Iguodaro against King with the left hand off the window.
Yeah, Greg McDermott, I think, wants timeout. I don't think he wants to go another possession without Kalkbrenner on the floor.
And there's that timeout. 10-10 to go in the second half.
Forced by the Golden Eagles. But also Marquette is living in the paint. Slowly but surely, Marquette is starting to dominate the interior. Now Kalkbrenner back in. Some zone from Marquette. First time we've seen any zone here this evening.
And the Jays not doing much right now against it. Greg McDermott wants him to move the basketball, swing it. Not doing much. Oh, and the shot clock's at 7. Nembhard. Bounce to Kaluma. In the corner. Farabello. The 3. And the rebound, Jones. They got a great look despite not much going on.
And a pretty good coaching move from Shaka Smart to throw some zone at Creighton.
Jones. His launch rebounded by Farabello.
Creighton has to get Kalkbrenner involved offensively. He's only taken 3 shots.
And they've got a whistle. Kalkbrenner down underneath with a foul. That'll be on Iguodaro. His 3rd.
Watch Kalkbrenner trying to get an early post up, and Iguodaro is just backpedaling. Tough one for Iguodaro there. But this is a guy in Kalkbrenner. He's 3rd in the country in field goal percentage. He shoots 70% from the field. You need to get him the ball and get him involved.
Nick, he's 8th all-time in the history of the game in career field goal percentage. 66.6%. Azubuike at Kansas is number 1 all-time. Quite a ways ahead at 75%. But you're talking about one of the great shooters of all time in college basketball. 3 shots tonight.
3, that's it. It's just hasn't even had opportunities. They got switch Stevie Mitchell on Kalkbrenner, but look at the help from Cam Jones and high hands on the ball.
Alexander. Jays offense in neutral right now. Alexander trying to change it. Spins. The high arcing jumper rebounded by Jones.
Shot by Oso Iguodaro to fight the mismatch on the perimeter. Stevie Mitchell did his job inside on Kalkbrenner. Iguodaro did it on the perimeter. Team defense.
Kolek to work on offense now for Marquette. Spins it out to Jones. 3 from the top. Splashes home. And Cam Jones, a little head nod to the fans. Marquette up by 6. And a takeaway. Kaluma gets it back on the floor. Possession arrow favors the Blue Jays. And the jump ball keeps it with Creighton.
A good little set from Marquette. Ball screen, and you get Cam Jones slipping out of it to the top of the key. Little sidestep. That rainbow splashes the bottom of the net.
9-0 run for Marquette. And it was sparked again when Kalkbrenner went to the bench. Shireman in the corner. That 3 pinballs out. We've got a foul on this end of the floor. I believe Kolek, trying to get room for the rebound, picks up the personal foul, his 3rd. 6th team foul. Creighton's been whistled for 5, so the next Marquette foul will put Creighton at the line the rest of the way. Alexander off the inbound. And Shireman set 3 short. Jones the rebound. Iguodaro bounce to Jones. Beautiful play. He's got 17. And Marquette stretching the lead to 8. And Nembhard, turnover, dribbles it off his foot, coughs it back up to Marquette with 8:10 to go.
How good has Marquette been in the first 12 minutes of this second half? Everybody is chipping in. What a pass from Oso Iguodaro. Little 5-out backdoor. Cam Jones doing it from the 3-point line and at the rim.
The Marquette Golden Eagles closing in on perhaps a commanding lead in the Big East, and Iguodaro gives them a commanding lead of 10 in this ball game. Time out, Creighton. A 13-0 mark.
And a lot of them have been easy shots right at the rim, too, Kevin.
We talked about the 2-point percentage. They're number 1 in the country, Marquette, from 2-point land. They're 10 of 13 from 2 in the second half.
And in the first half, they were 11 of 23 from 2.
And a foul. Trying to pick the ball away from Kalkbrenner. Cam Jones with his 2nd. And Kalkbrenner will go to the line for a 1-on-1.
And this guy has to get in the scoring column. Just does. And one thing Marquette's done a good job of is they're switching a lot of these screens and pressuring the ball. And it's that ball pressure that's not allowed for the ball to get into Ryan Kalkbrenner, who misses a free throw.
Second miss on the front end tonight for Kalkbrenner, a 1-and-1. Had one miss in the first half as well. Marquette trying to extend the lead. They are up 10 on a 13-0 run. Jones gets past Nembhard. The little teardrop won't fall. Shireman starts it the other way for the Blue Jays. Needs a little help from Alexander.
Transition defense has been much better in the second half, too, for Marquette.
Farabello driving on Mitchell, and he can't get it to go. One of the best looks the Jays have had in the second half, but it's been that kind of half for Creighton. Jones will drop it off from Mitchell. He gets it back to the top scorer tonight with 17. Iguodaro has 16 of his own. He'll put it on the deck against Kalkbrenner. 5 to shoot. Omax into the paint. Spins, left hand, short, foul. That'll be on Shireman. His second, team's 6th.
What patience on that possession from Marquette. Ball got from the first side to the second side to the third side. Multiple actions, multiple guys attacking. And multiple ball screens and dribble drives had to be defended, and you ultimately end in a foul. That was something that Shaka Smart said at shoot-around. Told us that I want to play fast, but guys got to be patient too offensively here tonight. That was a great patient possession.
Creighton only 13 points, Nick, in the second half. How did they get this offense going in the final 6-4?
Well, I think right now the transition game's got to get going. When Marquette's gotten their half-court defense set, they've really sunk their teeth into the Blue Jays, but you've got to get stops to be able to get out and run.
And hard. And a turnover. It'll go back to Marquette. That is turnover number 15 for the Blue Jays. At halftime, Creighton had turned it over in that first half just 6 times.
9 second half turnovers. That's what Marquette will do to you, though.
They're not trying for the turnovers, as Shaka Smart told us earlier today, but they get them. Jones around the screen, the 3, dies on the back iron, and Alexander the rebound.
So this is where Creighton, I think, has to run and find some shots.
Marquette gets gathered so quickly.
So much better in this second half, sprinting back defensively.
Kalkbrenner, a little dig down from Kolek, and he slithers his way to the rim for 2, and that snaps the 13-0 run over 6 minutes. First made bucket out of the last 8 attempts for Creighton. Jones with 10 to shoot for Kolek to launch the 3. That is short. Alexander cradles the rebound.
Almost looked like Creighton was in a 2-3 zone there.
Farabello off the shot fake, driving on Prosper. Here's Shireman. Nembhard.
Look at these extra efforts from Marquette. Unbelievable.
Deep 3 for Shireman. Falls. Boy, that's a big one. And a timeout by Marquette.
And a lot of them have been easy shots right at the rim, too, Kevin.
We talked about the 2-point percentage. They're number 1 in the country, Marquette, from 2-point land. They're 10 of 13 from 2 in the second half.
And in the first half, they were 11 of 23 from 2.
And a foul. Trying to pick the ball away from Kalkbrenner. Cam Jones with his second. And Kalkbrenner will go to the line for a 1-on-1.
And this guy has to get in the scoring column. Just does. And one thing Marquette's done a good job of is they're switching a lot of these screens and pressuring the ball. And it's that ball pressure that's not allowed for the ball to get into Ryan Kalkbrenner, who misses a free throw.
Second miss on the front end tonight for Kalkbrenner, the 1-and-1. Had one miss in the first half as well. Marquette trying to extend the lead. They are up 10 on a 13-0 run. Jones gets past Nembhard. The little teardrop won't fall. Shireman starts it the other way for the Blue Jays. Needs a little help from Alexander.
Transition defense has been much better in the second half, too, for Marquette.
Farabello driving on Mitchell, and he can't get it to go. One of the best looks the Jays have had in the second half, but it's been that kind of half for Creighton. Jones will drop it off from Mitchell. He gets it back to the top scorer tonight with 17. Iguodaro has 16 of his own. He'll put it on the deck against Kalkbrenner. 5 to shoot. Omax into the paint. Spins, left hand, short, foul. That'll be on Shireman. His second, team's 6th.
What patience on that possession from Marquette. Ball got from the first side to the second side to the third side. Multiple actions, multiple guys attacking. And multiple ball screens and dribble drives had to be defended, and you ultimately end in a foul. That was something that Shaka Smart said at shoot-around. Told us that I want to play fast, but guys got to be patient too offensively here tonight. That was a great patient possession.
Creighton only 13 points, Nick, in the second half. How did they get this offense going in the final 6-4?
Well, I think right now the transition game's got to get going. When Marquette's gotten their half-court defense set, they've really sunk their teeth into the Blue Jays, but you've got to get stops to be able to get out and run.
And hard. And a turnover. It'll go back to Marquette. That is turnover number 15 for the Blue Jays. At halftime, Creighton had turned it over in that first half just 6 times.
9 second half turnovers. That's what Marquette will do to you, though.
They're not trying for the turnovers, as Shaka Smart told us earlier today, but they get them. Jones around the screen, the 3, dies on the back iron, and Alexander the rebound.
So this is where Creighton, I think, has to run and find some shots.
Marquette gets gathered so quickly.
So much better in this second half, sprinting back defensively.
Kalkbrenner, a little dig down from Kolek, and he slithers his way to the rim for 2, and that snaps the 13-0 run over 6 minutes. First made bucket out of the last 8 attempts for Creighton. Jones with 10 to shoot for Kolek to launch the 3. That is short. Alexander cradles the rebound.
Almost looked like Creighton was in a 2-3 zone there.
Farabello off the shot fake, driving on Prosper. Here's Shireman. Nembhard.
Look at these extra efforts from Marquette. Unbelievable.
Deep 3 for Shireman. Falls. Boy, that's a big one. And a timeout by Marquette. Don't forget, right before that timeout, Tyler Kolek picked up his 4th personal foul. He stays on the floor. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good for Kalkbrenner. It's a 4-point game. Don't forget, earlier tonight, as Rob Stone just mentioned, Xavier losing to Villanova. Creighton trying to get up even with Marquette, and if Marquette can win this game, they take real control of this race. But it's a 3-point game. Jays answer with a 7-0 run. And a foul. So they're going to start fouling immediately trying to send Iguodaro to the line. We've seen this with Greg McDermott many times before.
Yeah.
Earlier than you see most coaches go.
He is a play the percentage guy. And so a Haka Iguodaro is in full effect here.
Iguodaro 0 for 2 tonight. A foul on Kalkbrenner, his third. And Iguodaro hits the first. We see with several coaches. Tom Izzo likes to do that.
Yep.
At about the 2-minute mark is when you'll see the veteran Michigan State coach go that direction. And Iguodaro. That'll thwart the strategy when you hit 2 free throws.
Not that. You get challenged by your opponent. You step up. Knock down 2 big free throws.
Impressive. Here's Kalkbrenner driving against Iguodaro. Rolls out. Almost an and one. He'll go to the line for 2.
Haven't seen it yet today. You open up that baseline and you slip the ball screen. So Kalkbrenner acts like he's going to set it. He cuts to the basket, no one home, and is able to almost get a 3-point play. Good set from Greg McDermott out of the timeout.
You don't see him miss those much.
No.
One more at the line in a 4-point game.
So what do you think? Does Greg McDermott go back to fouling Iguodaro? Do you try it once and bail on it?
You play the percentages if you're a percentages guy and you've committed to that. Now, you don't necessarily do it with Kalkbrenner, who's already got 3 fouls.
We'll see.
See what happens here. 3-point game. 2:48 to go. There's Iguodaro. Parabello trying to poke it free, but no foul this time.
Some 2-3 zone.
Jones will shoot over the zone. And rebounded by Alexander. We've got a whistle and a foul on the floor. Tumbling out of bounds with the contact was Omax Prosper. And it's a foul on the Blue Jays.
Omax
Prosper with his 4th. Excuse me, Nick.
Yeah. Prosper had the game-winning tip-in against Xavier, so he's a guy that crashes the glass. Take another look at it. Well, that's tough. There certainly was the hand on Prosper. Was there enough to dislodge him that far? Not totally sure, but sometimes perception is reality in those moments.
Give Prosper the credit. He sold it well.
Yes.
And he'll go to the line after the 4th on Kalkbrenner, the 9th team foul on the Blue Jays, and a 1-and-1 for the 73% shooter. 1 for 4 tonight. Marquette stepping up big at the foul line with some unlikely heroes. Now, Prosper's been pretty good all year.
But still,
where you're 1 for 4. Two for 2 for Iguodaro, 2 for 2 for Prosper in clutch moments. Wow. That's how you win a Big East title.
Now see if Marquette will fall back zone. Usually they go 3-quarter court. They do here. Gonna have to really keep Kalkbrenner off the offensive glass if you're the Golden Eagles. You got to find Shireman.
8 to shoot. Parabello, back cut, bump, count it, and the foul. Nembhard to the line.
Greg McDermott has decided to close this game with Francisco Parabello on the floor, and he's rewarding him with an excellent backdoor pass. And how about Nembhard stopping, slamming on the brakes, and is able to draw the foul, and now at the line for a potential 3-point play.
3rd foul on Prosper. Team foul number 10. So fouls the rest of the way. Everybody's shooting 2.
Creighton's got a lot of 2-3 zone. That's where if your shot gets smart, it's nice to have a zone beater in terms of a set. Maybe get Cam Jones a 3, something at the rim.
2-point game, 2:11 to go. No field goals in 6 minutes for Marquette. Here's Cam Jones, back to Kolek. Jones will try. The drought continues. Offensive board, second chance, Marquette.
That's the hard part out of a zone, is rebounding defensively. Great play from Prosper.
Shot clock to 10. Kolek underhands it. Prosper's three. Rebounded by Shireman. 90 seconds to play in a 2-point game. Shot fake. Shireman. Jump stop. Inside. Tied up. Kolek, clutch. Wow. 2-point Marquette lead. Shireman, he wanted that three.
Nice throttle down and execute. Try and get a mismatch and get Kalkbrenner a post up, and Marquette's got ready to fight it.
Nembhard's fouled by Mitchell. Go back to these last 2 buckets for each team here.
Yeah, pretty good both ways. Marquette trying to go with some zone and get a little unorganized scramble situation. Great under control 2-foot jump shot and strong finish. And then Tyler Kolek finally is able to drive into the heart of that 2-3 zone. But Prosper got that offensive rebound and an extra opportunity. Big play from Prosper.
Nembhard trying to tie it at the line. 1 more to go for Nembhard.
Does Greg McDermott trust going 2-3 zone once again? It has not been the identity of this defense that has been really good throughout the year. They've been a man-to-man defense, but it's been the 2-3 zone, I think, that has gotten them back in this game. You get Joplin in, so you got a guy that is a very capable 3-point shooter for Marquette.
Tie game again. Tied for the 7th time tonight.
2-3 zone, Kevin.
Gonna ride with what got him back in this game. Around the screen, it's Kolek over Kalkbrenner.
Wow.
Shot clock is off. What do the Jays do here? Nembhard. 19 seconds to play. 2-point game. Nembhard on the attack. Farabello saves that high pass. Alexander for the lead. In and out. Rebound tracked down by Jones, and a foul with 9.3 seconds to go.
Whoa. How about Tyler Kolek? It's closing time, and Kolek has stepped up. You get a ball screen for Kolek in this bottom of that zone, and he gets another floater to go down, and Greg McDermott elects to not call timeout. Joplin goes for a steal, misses it, but Kolek with good effort and pretty good look for a 40% 3-point shooter, and Trey Alexander just misses it.
Nembhard with the foul. Jones to the line. First free throws tonight. Jones has had a good night, though. 17 points. Make it 18. This one even bigger. Each team with 1 timeout. Possession arrow points towards the Golden Eagles.
And what did Shaka Smart say at halftime? If this doesn't go in, he talked about last year not fouling Alex O'Connell when they were up 3, and O'Connell made a 3 to go into OT. We'll see what Shaka Smart wants to do if this free throw doesn't go in, but it does.
Moot point at this point.
Yes.
73-69. On paper, the easiest path after tonight for Marquette. We know this league, but on paper, it's the easiest path of the 4 teams. There's Nembhard. Gonna have to push quickly. Nembhard, 3, up, off, rebound. Kalkbrenner takes it up, 2-point game, and the Jays will use their final timeout. 2 seconds to go. They put 1:10 back on the clock. Inbound coming from Iguodaro. And it's tipped away, but a foul. A foul is called on and thus far. 11 for 16 in the second half. A faint heartbeat for the Creighton chances.
You almost wonder,
do you want to miss here?
Are you better off missing this? because you got no timeouts. Jones with one more.
Misses it. Shireman the rebound. Heaves it up well short. And Marquette grabs a giant road win.